If you're watching this, I don't need to explain who ContraPoints is or what BreadTube is. Chances are you've already been scrolling through Reddit comments about this or watching video responses. Now, this video is a response to Kavernacle's original video, The Death of BreadTube. I have two main points I want to say. First, I think what's happening in Palestine right now is a genocide. And I also think the online left has lost any moral authority in talking about war and global politics after their terrible response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. To clarify, this video isn't about Palestine, it's about Ukraine. I left most online leftist spaces after February 2022, including Facebook meme groups, socialism subs on Reddit, because of the left's response to Ukraine. I don't mean just being indifferent to Ukraine, but I mean actively supporting Russia and Putin, arguing in support of Putin and or praising him. The three main reasons I've seen from the online left against supporting Ukraine are pretty bad, but here they are. First one, American diabolism, basically the opposite of American exceptionalism. This take states that everything the US does is bad because the US is capitalist and imperialist. I also believe that the US is capitalist and imperialist, but I think that labeling everything the US does or supports is bad is lazy thinking. Also, this take ignores that Russia is a corrupt, fascist-leaning oligarchy. Second reason is this is a proxy war by the US. I would go into this take more, but every time I've seen it, Russia's imperialism has been hand-waved away or completely ignored. Third is Ukraine is a bunch of Nazis. That's a great Russian propaganda talking point, and it also explains that after it went public that I served in Ukraine's military, I got labeled a Nazi a ton by leftists on Twitter, which just made me want to run away from the online left even more. I used to make BreadTube adjacent content, but I stopped when I joined the Legion in Ukraine. I thought about making a video explaining why as a leftist I support Ukraine, maybe talk about this book, which analyzes Ukraine and Russian economics and political stuff from a leftist point of view. But I also had a feeling that no one on the left would watch it. They just attacked me in the comments, and after getting called a Nazi repeatedly by Putin supporters online, I am very tired. Also, if you're upset with me that I'm asking for a specific video on a certain topic to be made while also getting mad at Contra for not making a video about Palestine, congrats. We've met circular logic as well as the horseshoe theory of politics. And aside from lefty groups that call out tankies, I have seen almost no pushback to this narrative. At best, we get takes like Kavernacle's, which talks about the US imperialism, but not Russia's imperialism. And at worst, you get called a Nazi for supporting Ukraine at all, which I think shows a shocking lack of empathy for Ukrainians or understanding what's happening in Ukraine outside of Russian propaganda. And it's really upsetting that a lot of so-called leftists react the same way that Putin supporters do. I don't like being called a Nazi, which is a big reason why I've stopped dealing with the online left in general. Which is why I can't take Kavernacle's or most other online leftists criticizing anyone's take on Palestine that seriously. When parts of the online left spend a lot of time praising Russia as some sort of alternative to the US's global power, you lost your moral center. This weird bootlicking of Russia isn't just limited to online spaces. Take Jill Stein, the US Green Party candidate, who wasn't able to clearly say Putin is a war criminal until after public pressure, among her other sketchy takes on Russia. And honestly, I don't know what the point of this video was. Now there's just more online lefty infighting. Maybe the reason why Contra and H-Bomb got popular is they don't attack other left-leaning creators. Leftist infighting has become a joke at this point, but I honestly don't see this as anything other than lefty infighting. Also, if you're white and male and living in a country where women and LGBT rights are under attack, maybe stop and think about what your expectations are for these groups. It's some parasocial weirdness to expect that content creators will magically make the videos you want, especially if their very existence is under attack. Finally, I think the whole Ukraine bad narrative just shows how much of the vocal online left is either American or has fallen under the US narrative spell. I'm not going to say this is cultural imperialism, but I do think a lot of online lefty spaces ignore voices from Central and Eastern Europe. While I've read great articles and books by online leftists, pacifists, and LGBT activists, I haven't seen a lot of these ideas talked about in online lefty spaces. Just because a country's government is corrupt doesn't mean the population deserves to be killed. I don't think the left should stop talking about Palestine. This isn't Depression Olympics. But I do think the left should quit gatekeeping who's a real leftist, stop engaging in pointless purity tests, and start fighting fascists and capitalists who are the real enemy here. And again, I really don't see what the point of his video was. The only thing it seems to have accomplished is ContraPoints to stop tweeting. Has this helped Palestine in any way? Has it brought any more people over to the left? Has it helped organize anything? No. Hmm.